Welcome back to my complete guide to Wrocław. So, if you're just tuning in, you've missed the first two parts, which have focused very much on some of the attractions in the centre of the city, including the main square and the Panorama Racławickie. And also, we covered some of the parks, Ostrów Tumski, the Centennial Hall, and a lot of the stuff around there. So we've actually covered quite a lot of Wrocław already, but in this video we are going to show you a pretty awesome train model museum. We're going to take you to the Sky Tower. We are going to take you to a great museum about post-war history, which is really cool. You have the Jewish cemetery and one of the most beautiful water towers in Europe. So please enjoy.
Dzień dobry and welcome to A Brit in Poland. This channel is going to bring you everything you need to know about Poland. I am exploring the country, bringing you the history, trying to tell you about the culture and show you what it is really like to live here. So feel free to check out my other media, Instagram, Facebook, and I will share links to those in the comments. I also have a website, www.britinpoland.com, where I collate my videos for easy to view manner. Also, you are welcome to contribute to my efforts through Patronite or Patreon, and all descriptions are available below the video. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and please come back for more by subscribing, liking, or commenting. Thank you very much. Do zobaczenia.
So when you're thinking about the geography of Wrocław, it's a good idea to think of the train line running through the city as a bit of a dividing point. So we're going to come back to this rather cool bridge, but at the moment we are going to delve into what I think of as the southern part of the city. And we're going to start with the Sky Tower. Now you can see the Sky Tower from many different points, and it was actually finished in about 2012 after 5 years of construction. It has 51 floors and is the largest tower in Wrocław with a height of 212 meters. It was the highest in Poland until 2022 when the Warsaw Tower in Warsaw overtook it. So it's a shopping mall, an office space, lots of other facilities. And as you can see, it is also a viewing platform. Worth noting that it can be a bit tricky to get tickets. They're often booked in advance, so especially if you're going with a group of people, good idea to book ahead to make sure that you can go up there. I don't think it was very expensive, about 30 zloty or something like that, and you get about 15 minutes. Now, also in this mall, you have the Kolejowo Museum, which is basically a giant model railway, but it's a lot more than that. So actually in this museum are 242 buildings that have been very painstakingly reconstructed, and it covers the city of Wrocław rather extensively, as well as some other sites around Lower Silesia. There are 15 trains that are running, 3,437 people / animals, and 720 meters of railway track. There is actually like a day and night cycle that runs in here, with day lasting approximately 9 minutes and night lasting 4 minutes, so you get to have that experience. The town hall, which is part of this exhibit, actually took 2,522 hours to complete by the modelers working on it. So I think it was a little pricier, maybe about 30-40 zloty to go in, but it was really cool. Like, lots of really detailed models really made you see Poland from a different light, and it gives you a few ideas on places to explore in the region as well. So totally recommended. And yeah, it's on like the first floor in the shopping mall. So I've had a little bit of trouble finding it, so maybe that will make life easier for you. In the shop, you can buy various things for your own dolls' houses or model kits, which is a nice little touch. So we're going to take the tram and we're going to go to this really cool museum, which is called Zjeżdżalnia. And this, it's kind of similar to the Solidarność Museum in Gdansk, because it's one of these kind of post-war museums. So it's also worth noting there are a couple of unique dwarves situated outside that are worth seeing. So this museum actually only opened in 2016, and it focuses on the life of Wrocław after 1945. So basically during the People's Republic of Poland time, or let's say the Soviet occupation of Poland. The building itself used to be a bus depot and was actually strongly connected with the Solidarność or Solidarity movement, because it's where the first inter-enterprise strike committee was formed under Lech Wałęsa. The building is totally a time capsule, and it shows you aspects from day-to-day life and highlighting the key events and teaching you a lot about the history of Wrocław, including the, let's say, the reconstruction of the city and the rebirth after the war. It takes a while to go around. I would honestly say best to leave a couple of hours for this place because there is a lot to read. It's very well translated. I can say that. So there's a lot of stuff in there in English which you can capture. There are a lot of different exhibits. You know, it's covering a large time period, so totally worth exploring this one, even if it's a little bit outside in the main. Yeah, you can see I take a lot of trams to get around. So continuing the exploration of the south side of the city, we're going to go to South Park, or Park Południowy. And this one is 62 hectares in size, founded between 1892 to 1897 in an English style, the best style. Completely renovated between 2001 and 2004. So what makes this park stand out? So maybe the 2.5-ton statue of Chopin, which I think dates back to 2004. And I desperately tried to get footage with kids not running around it, but what can you do? You have like a restaurant bar area in the center next to the rather nice lake. Bridges dotted around. It's a very relaxing, a very quiet and calm atmosphere. There's like a perennial garden you can visit as well. And generally, it's just a nice place to escape the kind of hustle and bustle of the city. And even though Wrocław has a number of green areas, this one is considered one of the nicer ones to visit, so I had to make sure I was there. And here were some random monuments and things and churches on the outskirts. So next we're going to go to the Jewish cemetery. So this one's quite a unique place in Wrocław. It was actually founded in 1856 and surprisingly has survived from that time. Of course, with some restoration and reconstruction efforts in the meantime. It's kind of unique. So it comes from this thing called Haskalah, which was kind of like an enlightened movement coming from Germany to move Jews out of ghettos, get them to abandon some of their beliefs and kind of integrate them more into German society. So it was one of the reasons that this rather large cemetery was allowed to be built. It has 12,000 tombstones and headstones, so it's pretty extensive, as well as, of course, you see all these mausoleums and obelisks and, you know, your characteristic, you know, very decorative Jewish gravestones. So it has all kinds of fragments from history. The oldest preserved matzeva are Rabbi Aaron's, which date back to 1177. So it is like a massive time capsule for Jewish history. It was basically a place where a lot of kind of important people were buried. So a couple of examples, you've got Ferdinand Lassalle, who was the founder of the German Labour Party, or the first German Labour Party. You have Heinrich Graetz, who was the foremost Jewish historian of modern times. And lots of other, let's say, famous names in the Jewish community. And it was like super cheap to go around. Here outside there was an umbrella in the tree, which was rather cool. And this is the most beautiful water tower in the world, built in 1904, and was used until 1985. It actually supplied water for 40,000 residents and is 63 meters high. I was hoping to see this one, and it was a pleasant surprise that it was just round the corner from the Jewish cemetery. I think there's a restaurant there as well, but I'm not sure if that's still operating. And this is a rather nice looking church from down the road. So next you have the Ethnographic Museum. So of course there are a number of ethnographic museums in Poland, but this is the only one of its kind in Lower Silesia, apparently. And there are about 20,000 artifacts documenting the life of rural Lower Silesia over the past 300 years, including painted furniture, paintings on glass, sculptures, figurative beehives, gingerbread molds, and regional bonnets. So it's a little bit outside of the center, but if you're curious about the history of Wrocław, it tells you a lot about the makeup of the citizens who live there and a lot of the cultural practices that have gone on. So we're getting near to the end, and we're just walking through this kind of university area. But we're going to this really cool museum called Hydropolis. And I was a bit skeptical about going here because it's a museum about water, so I instantly thought, okay, is it a bit gimmicky? But it's actually pretty cool. So it's located in a 19th century underground clean water reservoir, and it was only opened in 2015. So it's a very, very modern experience going here. And to give you an idea, so it's Hydropolis, or the Hydropolis Center for Ecological Education, is a science center dedicated to water. Its exhibitions use a variety of technology to teach visitors about the role of water in the environment, its importance to humans, and the history of human interactions with water. So what you get here are some interesting like deep sea creatures. You get to have lots of interactive displays where you can see like really cool stuff. Like yeah, you have all these like very, let's say, Instagrammable areas. It is super modern, you know, and you could argue maybe it's a little bit more engineered towards kids, but like even as an adult, even if I'm a big kid at heart, I still had fun, and it was just really cool to see. You know, it's very well designed, and it's actually quite immense. There are something like 7 different zones to explore. Now, returning back to the bridge you saw earlier, this area is actually not only full of shops, but a key place to go for food and drink in the city. So I tried to go to a few places. Some of them were quite busy. This Craft Daily pub was very nice. Had some good food there. And yeah, it's a bit weird to be eating underneath a railway line, but it's well worth it. Oh, and here was another random, very modernish looking church, which kind of looks a bit menacing, but maybe the best churches are. So in the next episode, we are going to go around the 4 denominations district of Wrocław, which is a key area in the center for culture, but also food, restaurants, bars. So some really cool sites there. We are going to go around the university, and there are some amazing rooms to see when you're in there. We will go to the Royal Palace, and we'll try and show off a few more of the museums and the sites in the centre that I would say are really amazing added touches. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and this little exploration of Wrocław. Do zobaczenia.